Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, August 15th. Like always, I'm your guy, Hector, host of the Morning Brew. Check out this intro, and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. Gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Good morning, Yankees universe. I'm back. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, August 15th. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. Shout out to the chat, first and foremost. I'm kind of missing my guy, TC Stills. TC Stills is in Florida right now on vacation, so I'm riding solo at the moment. As you guys see, I'm full screen right now because Celso, he loves to mess with the buttons and he never puts them back. So I'm gonna rock out with this for a little bit until we figure it out. But let's do a little bit of the roll call. We got big time Jerry in the building. Jerry, how you doing? We got Jonathan Taylor in the building. Jonathan Taylor, good morning. Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la Islas in the building. Anthony, how you doing? We got NFE in the building. NFE, good morning. Avicii, hope all is well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My guy Shane McNeil is in the building. AK-47. Hey, yo, Joe, how you doing? Dev Finch, good morning, Dev. Hope all is well, big fella. Samantha T's in the building. Samantha, how you doing? My guy Damian Serrano's in the building. Damian, how you doing? Anthony Garcia, the other Anthony that we all love. And of course, Sean Browning is in the building. Sean, how you doing? Sunil, salute. Uncle Taz and the Pinstripes Chronicles is in the building. Hey, yo, my guy, Petey. Oh, you handsome son of a bitch, you, my brother Pete Seminetti, who I will be linking up with on Friday. Get ready for that. There will be no Yanks Morning Brew on Friday. No Get Yanked on Friday. I'm picking up Pete from the airport. We're going to be taking over New York City. It's going to be crazy. Just tune in. Mac Mills is in the building. Mac, how you doing? Sorry about that. Our friends Ron and John from Still Nick Fans is in the building. If you guys haven't followed our friends, make sure you follow Ron and John over there at Still Nick Fans. I know this is a Yankee conversation, but if you guys are Nick fans or basketball fans, make sure you follow our brothers Ron and John. They had myself and Celso on the show last night. It was an amazing conversation talking about Knicks, talking about Morning Brew Sports. It was an awesome convo, so make sure you guys go support our friends over there. Alan Landsman is in the building. Alan, how you doing? Salute. Casey Fun Times in the building. My friend Casey, how you doing? Dennis is in the building. Dennis, good morning, my friend. Hope all is well. Mike Pellegrino's in the building. I'm going to need me a Pellegrino right now, Mike. I'm not going to lie. My voice is a bit cracked and stuff like that, but I'm hanging in there. We got James Cook in the building. James Cook, how you doing? Mitchell Fernandez is in the building. And since TC's not here, right? You guys know I normally do this with TC, right? But TC's not here. He's on vacation. It was a last minute thing that I learned, because again, Celso doesn't share information with me, but TC's in Florida right now with his family enjoying some time. So I had to make a phone call. I had to put out the bat signal in order for me to get a co-host to help me out today. And I reached out to a friend of the channel, a friend of the stream. You guys know Gio from Unpopular Opinion. He's backstage setting up right now. He's going to join us momentarily. He's going to let me know whenever he's ready to rock and roll. But until then, got to shout out the chat. We got 34 people in the building. If you guys can, smack that like button. And like my brother Medina said, que lo que, Anthony Garcia, what it do? Yankee cows in the building. I appreciate that. Thoughts and prayers. You guys know that I just came back from Florida. This is my first show back in New York City from going to visit my father. I appreciate you guys. I got to say, shout out to to Pete, shout out to Ra. They helped me when it comes to the finances, to getting out to see my father. So first and foremost, shout out to my guys. Always got to thank them for that. Big time Jerry, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. That's Brian Cashman. Point blank, period. I gotta love that, Jerry. Shout out to Big Time Jerry. Shout out to Big Time Jerry. But let's get into it, right? Before we talk about the Yankees, because we're gonna get to the Yankees, right? Before we talk about the Yankees, I gotta bring something up. Right. I know this is a Yankee show, but we are also a base show. We are also people who report on the nose. There was something that came out when it comes to Wanda Franco over the weekend, right? This is a topic that's very touchy. This is a very sensitive issue. But when it comes to Wanda Franco, I want to say this right now. I don't care if he's a baseball player. I don't care if he's $1 million athlete. I don't care about none of that. There's a victim that's involved in this situation. That's a 14-year-old girl, right? That the mother of that 14-year-old girl should be in jail as well, right? Should be looked at the same light, just like Wanda Franco. If you guys don't know the issue, there's something that came out over the weekend, Instagram stories or whatever. Apparently, Wanda Franco, he had relationships with a 14-year-old girl in the Dominican Republic. This girl is from Bani. If you guys know anything about the island, Bani is a campo. It's basically farmland. It's all the way in the sticks. So he was having a relationship with a 14-year-old girl. The MLB is sending investigators down to Bani to look into the matters. You got the Dominican police looking into Wanda Franco. Gio, let me know if you're good. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to rock, if the audio's good. All right, so I'm going to bring up my guy Gio to this conversation. Gio, good morning, my guy.
Good morning, Hector. How you doing, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Appreciate you. I know this is last second. I know this last minute. Thank you so much, for taking your time and jumping on with us. I had to put out the back signal, and I'm glad that you responded.
Of course, brother. Whenever you need me, I'm here for you. You already know.
I like that. It's like the Jackson for I'll be there. That's right. That's right. But you see it right now. I got it on the screen. We're talking about the Wanda Franco situation, right? Jeff Passan reported that the Tampa Bay Rays have placed shortstop Wanda Franco on the restricted list, which takes him off the roster. And in most cases, he's going to be unpaid. An MLB official tells ESPN. The league has launched an internal investigation into the social media posts about Wanda Franco from Sunday. I want to get your thoughts on this, Gio, before we continue. People in the chat, let us know what's your thoughts on this entire situation. What should Major League Baseball do about Wanda Franco? Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, it's sad, brother. Like this is unfortunate. I have a young daughter myself. This is a situation where I never want to see any person or child or parent go through. This is an unfortunate situation. If it is true, I really hope that he never plays another day in baseball and he gets what he deserves. I know it's a cultural thing. Like, I get it. In DR, my girl's actually, her family's from Bani. So, like, I get it. DR, this is okay, but we're in the States. And, apparently she's pregnant or had a kid. It's not a good look for him. It's not good for the Rays. It's not good for the MLB.
Okay, no matter where it's at, right? And I
Exactly,
get it, right?
Yeah,
I'm Puerto Rican. We get it, right? We understand the culture, but it's still like, if people in DR are using that as an excuse, it's not an excuse whatsoever.
No.
Like I said, both her mother who okayed the relationship and Wanda Franco, both of them should be thrown under the jail, if in my opinion. Shout out to Anna Marie LeBeau in the chat. Hopefully he just cheated on his wife and the girl isn't really a minor. According to the reports, she is a minor. There's pictures of them together. And it's disgusting.
She looks young too.
And the thing is, like I said, there's a victim that's attached to this. It's a 14-year-old girl who is a victim in this entire situation. I've seen people reporting on the issue saying that, they're trying to ruin his career. They're trying to do this and the third. Listen, this is a 22-year-old man. He's not a teenager. He's not a kid. This is a grown-ass 22-year-old man who decided to engage in relationships with someone who was a minor. You could try to say you didn't know when all in reality, before the reports, it seems like you knew. You knew Wanda Franco. You knew Wanda Franco. And it kind of seems like a grooming situation, because from the reports that I've seen online, apparently he has known this family since he was 17, 18 years old. So that means that young girl was 10 or 9 years old when you first met her and her family. That alone right there. No more discussion after that. So whatever Major League Baseball does, they need to handle this situation before it gets blown out of proportion. The Tampa Bay Rays, it is what it is. Baseball aside, something needs to happen when it comes to this.
Absolutely.
It's not a topic that myself or Gio wants to stay on, or we don't even want to have this conversation. None of us want to have this conversation. Baseball aside, we're not talking about this because Wanda Franco plays for the Tampa Bay Rays. We're talking about this because this is a real life situation that have real life consequences and real life victims.
Facts.
Tampa Bay, they do what they have to do. I know they just signed them to that long-term contract. Money should not impact this decision on what happens to Wanda Franco. Even while the investigation is going on, I don't think Wanda Franco should be associated with any major league teams, or should be around that team in Tampa. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
No, to be honest with you, like he should be immediately banned from any facility, any place. I know he's on a restricted list. He can't communicate. Shouldn't be able to communicate with his teammates. He shouldn't be allowed to leave the country. His passport should be surrendered. To be honest with you, I think he should be in handcuffs until they figure this whole thing out. But it's just a bad look for the MLB. Like the season, there had some highlights this year with, just improvement with so many things in the league. The pitch clock has actually worked. Sped up the pace of game. They had so many positives starting to accumulate over the last several months. And then this is just a big tarnishment on just the sports name of having a guy at his caliber. It's not like it's just a nobody. This is one of the young faces of the league, one of the ones that MLB thought they can build this brand around. And unfortunately, to find out that he's a quote unquote pedophile, this is alarming, and it's not a good look for the league.
Patrick Sinclair, just to answer your question right here, there's pictures of him kissing a 14-year-old girl that's on the internet. Well, I don't know what more proof do you need. There's pictures of him making out and kissing a 14-year-old girl on the internet. And that's just weird. That's just weird that people want more proof. When there's a picture of him kissing an underage 14-year-old girl, what other proof do you need? Go ahead, Pop.
And also, he's not like appealing any of this. He's not going to the Players Association. He's not going to anyone to sit there and be like, no, this is rumors. These are not true. Trying to appeal any of this. He's taken this is a mutual thing that's happening between the Rays, the MLB, and him. If it's mutual, that means he knows he's in hot water right now, and he's bowing out so that they can, trying to take the heat off of the team in the league.
Go, there's reports, or I'm not going to show the picture whatsoever because that's borderline child pornography. So I'm not going to show it. So you guys could go online and try to find that picture yourself. It's just, the facts are there. He has a picture making out with a 14-year-old girl. Bunch of pictures with her hugged up, cuddled up, her wearing his necklace and stuff like that. So I'm good when it comes to that. Again, we got 49 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Let's see what's in there. CWE's in the building. My guy, he said, if this happened to a Yankee player, all channels of other teams will be going crazy. Absolutely. Thanks. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be just a 14-year-old girl, a grown-ass 22-year-old man. That's the situation, point blank, period. We got to switch gears and talk about these New York State.
Please.
I tried to wait. And drag it out as much as I can. But we got to talk about these New York Yankees, right? Jimmy Mathis is in the building. Jimmy Mathis, how you doing? Salute. Let's switch it up because guess what? The dog days of Yankee baseball is here. We are in the dog days of the Yankees. We lost the series against the Miami Marlins. We got destroyed yesterday against the Atlanta Braves. The Sunday game that we played against the Marlins, I'm going to rank that as the worst loss of the season, right? Yeah. Right underneath that is that game against the Colorado Rockies as well. both of those games, but it's like, Gio, every week, it's like we get on this and it's like we have a new worst loss of the season. Every week it just compounds and it just gets worse and worse and worse. The dog days are here. What's your thoughts, Gio?
I don't know. This team is making more and more creative ways to find ways to make themselves one of the worst teams in the AL. Every series is a game that you can sit there and Aaron Boone, the team, and everyone's just like, hold my beer, guys. I got one for you. I'm a one up the situation. I wasn't expecting much going into Atlanta, to be honest with you. The first inning gave me like some glimpse of hope, and then the bottom of the first just slammed the door closed immediately. This team, there's no hope right now. I've said this in my podcast a few times. There's a dynamic at play in this clubhouse that is alarming. I think I've never seen such dysfunction just across the board, from just the front office to the on-field coaches to the players, medical staff. I don't think there's ever been this type of dysfunction in any type of professional sports, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like there's a huge disconnect across everyone. There's no channels of communication. It seems like they are just blatantly just running this team blind. And I'm a loss for words, if that makes any sense.
Makes sense. I want to shout out my guy, Mr. Joseph Caputo from the shift.
Exactly.
My guy Joe, how you doing? If you guys don't know, Joe has a show over here on the channel, The Big Blue Brew, talking about the New York Giants. Make sure you guys tune into that. But not only that, make sure you tune into Joe and his other channels. He has a Knicks channel, a Giants channel, of course, his Yankee channel, The Shift. You guys know about that. Make sure you support all of us that is working over here at Morning Brew Sports. Just like Unpopular Opinion Gio, make sure you go follow that channel that's over there, and please support the movement. But I got some stats that I wanted to bring out, right? Since July, when it comes to the Yankees and series, the Yankees, we have won 1 series, we've lost 7 series, and we split 3 of them. Since the All-Star break, the New York Yankees, we have a record of 17, including last night's loss. This team right now, the front office, and we'll get into it later on, but this front office, the only person that they're fooling is themselves, right? Like my friend Chris Kreisner and Max Goodman on Twitter, they both reported the Yankees lose 11-3 to the Braves. They are 60-59, 5.5 games out of the 3rd wild card spot. Luis Severino will look to end the team's 3-game losing streak tonight. Let's see if that goes well. He has an ERA of 8.06. Max Goodman said, the scene in the Yankees dugout looks miserable from up here. Talking about him last night in the reporter box. Kyle Higashioka threw his helmet down the steps after grounding into an inning-ending double play. Aaron Judge stood alone, staring at the field between innings, leaning on the rail. There's barely any movement, which means there's barely any life in that Yankees dugout. When you look at these players, you're seeing Harrison Bader gets picked off again. It's just everyone seems just checked out. I don't think the players, they even have hope. Even with this coming out with Tampa and people thinking, oh, maybe Tampa will start sliding. I don't think this team that we have has any momentum or motivation to improve and get better and try to put down a good stretch going towards the end of the season. I'm a loss of words, like you said, Gio, waving a white flag in the moment, bro.
Hell yeah. I brought up an interesting stat while you was away with Jigga. The last 3 seasons, 2020, 2021, 2022, the Yankees, every single one of those seasons, what saved them was the fact that they went on a 10-plus game winning streak. 2020 was 10 games. 2021 was 13. 2022 was 11. The only way this season gets saved is they have another stretch like that. I said this on my podcast, and I mentioned in the chat, I don't think this team has that gene in them, that winning streak gene, that, we're going to find a way to win. They're all struggling and they're all searching. And usually you can get away with that when you have 1 or 2 guys in the lineup that might be struggling or searching, but to have 6, 7, this is one of those seasons where you just have to chalk it up and sit there and say something's wrong in the clubhouse. So do we have to make the managerial change? Do we have to make personnel change? Do we have to make player changes and kind of go under the microscope and dissect this a little bit, because this is unusual that 7 key players of your team are having all collectively the worst seasons of their career. Something's wrong in the root of it. And it's not decline, because decline is gradual. This is the fall off a cliff, bro.
Like the movie Die Hard, when the villain was falling at the end of the movie. That's what's happening right now. Brian Cashman is Bruce Willis holding on to him, and us falling. It's the fans that are just falling, because all of our love and we love this team. We rock hard for our team, but it seems like it's only one-sided. And I hate to say it, but it only seems like it's just a one-sided love when it comes to this team. I just want to point something out real quick. My guy Razil the Great says, from this moment forward, we will all dress in black for each game until the end of the season. Absolutely. And like he said, the like ratio is trash. Get those likes up. We got 53 people in the building. Let's smack that like button. Let me shout out a few other people that joined us in lately on the conversation. And I know that we started the show a bit, no one wants to talk about what we started with the show when it comes to Wanda Franco. So let's engage. Let's bring that energy up. Tyler Tabbitt is in the building. My guy Tyler, how you doing? Sandy from the Pipers in the building. Sandy, how you doing? Salute. AK-47 said, I personally feel like Judge should be getting some heat. That is not captain-like behavior. Absolutely disgraceful for a captain to hang his head instead of getting the guys hype. I see you when it comes to that, and I can respect that opinion when it comes to that. But when it comes to Judge, the man just came back from an injury, and this is not responding to AK-47 whatsoever. I'm just saying he just came back from an injury to a team that already looked like they were a wounded animal, right? It literally looks like this is the Yankees look like a deer that was hit by a bow, an arrow, and they're keeping on walking around in the woods just bleeding out. That's what the Yankees feel like right now when we are watching the team. Even when we get a lead, like Clark Smith has been, besides Garrett Cole, one of our solid starting pitchers his entire season. He faces a lineup like the Atlanta Braves, he gets destroyed. So even when we're coming into the game like, hey, maybe we could do something with Clark Smith, that gets smacked down after the first or second inning.
Yeah. To be honest, brother, like like the Judge needs like his Robin, right? And we thought Rizzo was that guy, but they're two similar personalities. Like the idea of, they're both probably a little bit too positive. We look back at the Dynasty days, Jeter Haposada. Jeter was the captain, and he was the personality, but Jorge was the get in your face. What the F are you doing? What the fuck are we doing? We're like, you don't do that here. Back in, Pete, what up? Back in, even with like CC and Gardy back in the 17 when they had a little run in them, CC was our prototypical captain, the guy that brought the clubhouse together, and then you had Gardy policing the clubhouse. Right now, you don't have anyone policing that clubhouse, and no knock on Judge, and this is like to kind of touch on AK, is just, yes, he's not that prototypical captain, and he's not that policer. We need to find that Robin to his Batman, someone that's going to police that clubhouse and get these guys in check, because there's I'm telling you, there's something wrong. These guys are not preparing. They're not mentally in the game the way they should be, and that's what we're lacking, that enforcer in that clubhouse.
Saw this over the weekend, but it came out. I posted it on my social media yesterday. For the first time ever, right? New York Mets, they are both in last place this late into the season. I'm going to say that again. For the first time ever, the Mets came into the league, 67, 69, whatever it was. For the first time ever, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets, we are in last place at the same time during the same part of the season. Now, when it comes to us Yankee fans, this is uncharted waters. When's the last time we've been in last place coming August 15th, going towards the end of the season? We're literally one game over 500. Even the 2016 team, they were over 500. They were never this bad.
No.
And the 2016 team, they had an A-Rod that was forced to retire. They had young guys that were coming up. We understood why that team was bad. Coming into this season, we had expectations. Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, Luis Severino, Frankie Montas. We thought we was going to have the best starting rotation in baseball. You can throw that out the window. We never had one stretch where all 5 of those guys pitched at once.
No, and we're not going to.
Damaged goods, and we will never see it, just like you said, Gio. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's sad. It's been 30 plus years, I believe, since the last time the Yankees has been in last place this late in the season. I was like 5 years old when that happened, and it's incredible. And I want to preface this with, yes, I've been very fortunate in my life to see such great, amazing Yankee teams. Majority of my life we have been winners, and that's unusual in sports, right? To have several championships, and by the time I'm about to be 35, that's not heard of. But in the same instance, this team has one of the biggest tools in the world is their finances, and they're just not utilizing it correctly. They're second highest franchise in the world, most recognized in the world. This New York Yankee team is embarrassing. They should be embarrassed to put on the uniform right now. How they're performing, they should never be in last place with a $290 million payroll. That should not be happening. That's where Hal needs to grab his balls and sit there and tell Brian Cashman, what the fuck are we doing here, bro? What is going on with this team? There's no way that we spend this much money to be this bad. We could have spent $50 million for a roster and been just as good as right now.
I want to highlight some of the chats real quick. My guy D-Rod says Cashman will get hired in a minute if he goes, but he won't.
Peace.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, D-Rod. And this is not towards D-Rod, because a lot of the pundits that are out there, what makes Brian Cashman have this much of a leash that people are just giving him so much just grace? Look at the track record. The track record speaks for itself. When you look at who we decided that we passed up on Bryce Harper, who wanted to be a Yankee, right? We passed up on Manny Machado, who wanted to be a Yankee. We passed up on Corey Seager, who grew up a diehard Yankee fan. We passed up on all of these guys, but we didn't pass up on Giancarlo Stanton. Even though you already had a carbon copy version of him, a younger and a better version than Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton, a man, and I'm not trying to discredit Giancarlo Stanton, but when you look at his track record, when you look at his stats, the man was only played over 130 games, 140 games twice in his season before the Yankees got him. And one of those seasons was a year prior when he won an MVP.
Yep.
I think the kid's going to be an all-star, right? Further down the line in his career. We passed up on so many shortstops. We could have signed Corey Seager. We could have used Anthony Volpe in a trade for Luis Castillo, but we didn't do that.
Nope.
One person only. And I've seen people over the weekend saying that Brian Cashman, he has a lifetime contract with the Yankees. And that's the thing that sucks about it, right? Brian Cashman's not going to get fired. We're stuck with Brian Cashman. What is he, like 50 or going to be 60? Bare minimum.
Yeah,
we got Brian Cashman for the next 10 years at bare minimum.
Yeah, it's frustrating, bro, because, and just to answer what like D-Rod said, or just anyone that thinks, Cashman can get picked up immediately. Good, fine, great. I'll pack his bags myself, bro. I don't care. Cashman can go somewhere else and probably produce, another dynasty. I'm okay with that, because right now, the next 3, 4, 5 years, I want to win, and I don't envision that with him at the helm. I can't see it. There's no way. You can't tell me he's competent in any facet of the game. You have the short porch in right field, and you went straight righties, power righty hitters, bro. There was nothing but left-handed bats the last 2-3 years that you could have plucked from. And yes, I get it that you have a lot in the books. You have a lot committed to. Get creative. Like, stop being so stubborn. And I don't know whether it's Hal being stubborn or Cashman being stubborn, but they both need to get off their fucking pedestal and realize that neither of them are good at this job. And we need to scrap and start over, because teams are winning and being better with a third of our payroll. And that's embarrassing. Just
Frank Rivera in the chat. Frank Rivera, salute to you. And he says, I can't stand when people say Hal is cheap. He isn't cheap. That clown Cashman has misspent the money. If he's let go and we signed by, if he's let go and signed by another team, great. And I agree with Frank when it comes to that, right? Because Hal's going to put the money forward for the team. Cashman spends the money in the wrong places, right? Going forward, I'm going to need the Yankees this offseason. Don't be restricted by the payroll. Don't be restricted whatsoever. Because I want to let you guys know. I did some number crunch. You guys know how I like to take deep dives, right? When it comes to concession stands alone, food and beverages, last year, I looked at the Yankees attendance. I looked at, normally people spend $50 to $80. So I did it right down the middle, $60, right? If the attendance from last year, they spent $60, everyone who came to the stadium last year, and I'm just saying $60 as the bare, like right in the middle, minimum. The New York Yankees made last year, this is just a guess, $380 million off of food and drinks alone. For the Yankees attendance from last year, right? I did the math. I did $60. If everybody who went to the stadium last year spent $60, we know I spend more than $60 when I go to the stadium. So this is just as bare minimum. I try to get it as reasonable as possible. The Yankees last season made $380 million off of food and beverages alone. No merchandising, no ticket sales, no Yes TV deal, no MLB TV deal, no playoff bonuses, no nothing. The Yankees alone, $380 million pays for your payroll, pays for your luxury tax penalties. So this offseason, I don't want to hear nothing about the payroll being pushed back because we got payroll restrictions. You made $380 million at the bare minimum last year from food and beverages.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane to just fathom the fact that they essentially could have easily made $500 million just on food and freaking liquor. And we're sitting here talking about we can't go over our last luxury tax threshold. And it's sickening to the fact that this is how you know Hal's not in this to win. Because if this was George still here or Hank still here, he would see Cohen across town and say, hell no, they're not going to outspend us. Yeah, granted, we got to put out a better product on the field, 100%. That's probably their gold standard. But they're not going to sit there and be like, we got to spend less and try to be better. The fuck out of here. He's going to go out there. Oh, exactly. Amazon and Apple TV deals. There's so much money out there, brother.
$25 million patch that's on your sleeve. That's not even including that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's just this is why Hal needs to figure out what he needs to do. Like, he needs to step down. Like, I get it. He got here kicking and screaming. His brother died. He didn't want to take on this team. Fine. That's okay. You don't have to want to be the Yankees owner. Then let someone else in your family take over that has the stomach, that has the drive to want to see it succeed. Or if you don't want to do that either, find somebody in a GM that's as motivated as your dad was, as motivated as your brother was, to sit there and be like, all right, Hal, sit back. I got this. Let me put us back on the map.
Shout out to Rajil the Great with the $5 super chat. He said, I'll say it time and time again. There is a razor thin line between belief and delusion. And I couldn't say that as best as you did, Rizzo. Shout out to you. Definitely agree with you when it comes to that. My guy D-Rock says, everyone's quick to fire everybody, but no one wants to offer a replacement. Many YouTube channels say the same thing. Well, guess what? I got a replacement. Her name is Rachel Baldazak. She is the minor league coach for the New York Yankees, because we all know with the way that baseball is shifting right now, the GMs are the ones that are controlling the lineups. The GMs are the ones that are controlling the pitching rotation and how the bullpen is set up. So I want someone who's a GM that has a baseball background. And Rachel, she does an amazing job when it comes to the Yankees minor league system. That's an candidate that I would throw up and I would put money behind. If not her, we already got Omar Minaya there. If not her, if not him, we already got Brian Sabian there. So D-Rod, if you want candidates, I just named you 3 candidates right there. But when it comes down to it, us fans, we shouldn't be the one giving the Yankees ideas on who they should hire. The Yankees need to make that decision. Us fans, we sit back, we critique the team. We may say we want Brian Cashman fired, But we're not in the front office. We're not giving the interviews. That's Hal Steinbrenner. That's Brian Cashman. Going forward, if Aaron Boone is let go, which most likely he will be let go at the end of the season, he's just going to be a sacrificial lamb to us, right? Brian Cashman should not make that hire. It needs to be Hal Steinbrenner. You cannot allow Brian Cashman to hire the new coach. If not, it's going to be the same old nonsense, rinse and repeat.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's actually, this is going to be actually very intriguing this offseason, because the Brian Cashman and just the front office, they're making this illusion that they're trying to go away from analytics, that they're going towards more old school mentality with Omar Benaya and Sabian being brought in. You're good. Being brought in, so they're making this illusion, Panic coming here, all these little sprinkles in there. So if Boone gets fired, it's going to be very interesting to see who Brian hires as the manager, because I can't see many people being okay with how he runs this team. Like, come on, you playing people out of position. You're switching up the lineup every day. No real manager, old school Joe Madden, Don Mattingly, even if you want to bring up like Mark DeRosa, like to be, another analyst to come from MLB to come into this situation. I don't see them sitting there saying this is okay, anyway, no matter what the paycheck look like. So it's going to be interesting. Like, that's going to be a legit.
I want to address something in the chat. Avicii, I'm not sure if you joined us late, but I chose Rachel to be the GM of the Yankees, not the manager. I want her to replace Cashman. I don't want her to replace Boone. I said as a GM, not as a manager. Trust me, as a manager, no. I want her to be the GM of the team. My fault.
That's funny though. Boone is already a woman.
My umbrella. He loves to sing Under My Umbrella by Rihanna. I am what I am. Wanda got caught. Yep. I don't even want to read the rest of that. As Anna says, new manager must have experience. And I'm going to leave that right there, because when you look at the Atlanta Braves, right, they on the broadcast, they said that team, yes, they use the analytics. They have an analytic department. But do you see who the coaching staff is? The coaching staff, they are all old school baseball guys. You got the former manager from the Colorado Rockies as a bench coach. You got the guy, the third base coach who used to be the manager for the Texas, Ron Washington, who was the manager for the Texas Rangers, who brought them to the World Series. Mm-hmm. When you look at the Atlanta Braves, they have the recipe. They have the secret sauce. Yes, they have the analytic departments. Yes, they use analytics, but they have old school baseball minds that is interpreting the data and putting it on the field. When you look at the Yankees coaching staff, the only other person besides Aaron Boone that has managerial experience is Luis Rojas. And he was the second option for the Mets after the whole Carlos Beltran situation didn't work out.
Yeah.
Want to look at a secret or like a recipe or a blueprint, you got to look at the Atlanta Braves. They get it right, bro. They get it right. All their young players are signed to 2033. They don't got to worry about breaking up that core.
Yeah, they're gonna just to touch on Atlanta. They're gonna be really good for a very long time. I think they're gonna be the new dynasty. They might be the first team, if Houston doesn't do it this year, to eventually win a World Series and repeat. But yeah, the Yankees need to start getting away from this idea of just the conformancy of, let's get a guy that can be a therapist, that can, try to be friends with some of these players. Like, we need to go back to the mentality of an old school manager. Yes, maybe he needs to be able to understand some of the analytics that's going on nowadays, because it has changed over the last just even 5 years. Analytics, we have so many new acronyms, WOBA, fucking FIP, and all these other new crap. So yeah, you have to.
The FIPAs and the WOBAs and the LIPAs. You don't like those LIPAs?
Yeah, so they have to be able to adapt to some of these new metrics that are coming out. Great, but you also need a guy that can understand the balance between the two. And that's what baseball and all sports is finding the right amount of balance of anything, with personnel, with players, lineups, pitching staff, bullpen. You have to find the balance that everyone meshes great together. I think Sean Casey was a great addition. I hope that he can probably return if Boone leaves. I doubt that will happen, but I kind of like what he's doing with some of these younger players, like that type of mentality of just, yes, you want to be personable, you want to be able to understand the analytics, but you have to be able to find a way to make that play for these players, make it work for these guys.
To Jason Lang in the building, my guy Jason Lang, salute. My guy J.R. Acosta, who says, just give me the whole staff from Los Tigres del Licey. Yo, J.R., just to let you know, I'm planning a trip to go to DR in November to go look at the Winter Ball. My girlfriend's aunt is best friends with the owner of Los Aguilas that's down there. So I'll be there getting some footage down there. So make sure you guys are tuned in to know when I'm down there in November. That was funny. That was funny as hell. Brazil the Great says, I really don't want to see Mattingly here. He is not a good manager. And on top of that, this franchise always screwed him when he was a player. Let's not do it to him again. The reason why I'm not going to say about him being a manager. The reason why I wouldn't want Don Mattingly as a manager, and Gio, let me know if I'm off base. I'll get your take on it as well. But the reason why I wouldn't go that route is because I don't want Yankee fans to turn on one of the Yankees greats. Right? Yankee fans, they have a place for Don Mattingly in their heart. He was a Yankee that was a great player in the 80s, never won a championship, been to the postseason once. I don't want his reputation or his stardom with Yankee fans to tarnish because this team is bad and this front office, they don't do what they have to do to put the right team around him to be successful.
I agree with you, but then I'm also going to disagree with you in a sense where I think he might. Yes, I don't want them to treat Donnie like Aaron Boone. But I also want him to. I want a manager that's ready to win. He's never won as a Yankee. He desperately wanted to. It broke his heart that he couldn't get it done. And I think right now it might be the right guy, right time, maybe even right team to sit there and start lighting the fire under some of these guys. Like, yes, I've never won too. Yes, I want to win too. Give that motivation. Like Boone is a loser, and he's going to breed nothing but more losers. So I think Donnie, even though he never won anything, I think he's a winner. He had that championship mentality here, and he just unfortunately got hurt. He couldn't, they could have put it together, under a bad managed team over the 80s and the 90s that they could have put it together around him. But he might be the right guy at the right time.
So I grew up as a young kid in the 90s, early 2000s. I didn't see the Don Mattingly days, right? So all I know about Don Mattingly is from what my older cousins and my uncles was telling me about, and my mom's as well, even though my mom's was a diehard Met fan, she loved Don Mattingly, right? Her two favorite, she said if it wasn't for my pops, two dudes that she would love to marry would have been Keith Hernandez and Don Mattingly, right? That's a joke that my mom still says to this day, right? But no, when you look at Mattingly, and like you said, his standing in Yankee lore, that's just something I don't want to see tarnished. I see people in the chat agree with me. And again, I'm not sure how his relationship is with Brian Cashman and Hal. Mm-hmm. And that's the big elephant in the room. You got so many great Yankees that it seems like they don't have a great relationship with the front office that's running the team right now. We're going to get into the Derek Jeter stuff or whatever, but I just want to bring one thing up because I know we was talking about Aaron Boone and, most likely he would be replaced. But last night, and I'm done with these post-game press conferences of Aaron Boone, especially after last night, because Aaron Boone fixed it. Look, he got the gum on his face. That's how he looks for the rest of my life. But Aaron Boone said that the Yankees probably have made less base running mistakes than most of the league. He says that their mistakes just stand out more because they're in a lot of close and low-scoring games. Aaron Boone also said one of the biggest difference between the Yankees and the Braves is the Braves have a lineup that's really, really rugged and balanced. A little peek into where you're trying to get to. I'm not sure if that was a bit of a stab at Brian Cashman when it comes to roster construction. But what do you make of this? Brazil the Great is laughing already in the chat. Absolutely, because it's like you can't make this shit up when it comes to Aaron Boone, bro. It's like every time he seems like, I'm going to top myself last week. What am I going to give John Boy and Jake to go after me now this week, right? So it seems like every week is just something different. What's your thought, G?
Yeah, I honestly think he's trolling the Yankees hard. Like I've heard, like I had to kind of go back. Like last weekend, I went back to like old ESPN, MLB Network when Boone was talking baseball, and I was just like, this dude can't be this dumb. Yeah, facts. This guy can't be this dumb. Like he can't. This is not how he normally talk. I don't remember Boone being this type of guy. And then now I'm like, you know what? I honestly think he knows the writing's on the wall. Like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm going out and I'm gonna have some sound bites. I'm gonna go ahead and have some fucking fun. I'm gonna say some of the craziest things managers have ever said. And you know what? That last comment from Kirshner, I honestly 100% think that was him trying to say, you know what, Cashman, that's what an organization looks like. That's you know, the really, really, really rugged, balanced peek into what we're looking to. That break between the balance. I was just like, oh yeah, there we go. He's doing a stab.
It's constant gaslighting and talking down to the fan base, because are they not watching? Is Boone not watching the same game that we are watching? We're watching the same thing. We how many times have we've seen players get thrown out on the base paths, not even trying to steal a base? They're at first base and they're just falling asleep and getting picked off.
Yep. He has the best seat in the house. How
the best seat in the house. I have no idea. And just so that people know, I've watched a lot of minor league baseball, and Sandy and Julian, they could attest to this as well. I've watched a lot of minor league baseball. I see the Tampa Bay Tarpons a bunch, whether it's in Tampa or whether they come up here and play closer to the East Coast, Hudson Valley Renegades as well. But when it comes to Rachel, the games that I've gone to see her with the Tampa Bay Tarpons, when she's managing, she's not in the dugout. This is the one thing that caught my eye while watching Rachel. She's on the first baseline or she's on the third baseline. Now, I'm not sure that's just how minor league baseball is constructed. The manager, I don't see other managers in minor league baseball doing that. Rachel, she's decided, I'm going to be the third base coach this game. I'm going to be the first base coach this game. And you see that these players, these young men that are coming up in the system, they have so much respect for her. Right? The way that she just goes to the side, grabs Jason Dominguez just to whisper something in his ear. Same thing with Austin Wells. They have a respect for her, and you can tell by the way that they play for her down there with the Tampa Bay Tarpons. I advise you guys, I know the Yankee season is what it is, but if you guys get a chance to go check out the Tampa Bay Tarpons, go and watch that team and go look how Rachel carries herself and how those players respect her on the field. I know I could be saying this, and you guys can take it with a grain of salt. Go see it at first-hand basis. Go ahead. Whether you're in Florida or whether they come up to the East Coast, further up to New York City, make sure you guys check it out. I'm telling you, you guys are going to know what I mean after you see it in person. Go ahead, G.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even know that she did that. And you know what? That's a very telling sign of who she is, because as a manager, when the first time I would manage the team, the first thing that I learned from other people, you know, you go under someone's wing, is that you earn the respect of the people that report under you. And how you do that is you roll up your sleeves and you get your hands dirty too. And instead of sitting back and delegating and making everyone else do your job, the fact that she's, you know, I'm gonna be the first base coach and I'm gonna talk to these guys. I want to see from a different angle. I want to see from a different lens. I want to see how these guys at bats are looking. You know, I want to be able to, you know, go to the third base side and, you know, also be able to control the running game, control how, and just, you know, kind of learning more and more and more about the game and learning about your players. That's amazing. And you know what? That should be something that MLB like institutes. I don't know who said it, but they also talked about like not rotating umpires. I think it was on Talking Yanks, like not rotating umpires. If you're a good home base umpire, that you should stay there, first base, blah, blah, blah. And that's a similar thing with the coaches. I feel like they should be moved around and people should be exposing themselves to different things and kind of learning and growing at the game.
Boone at that first base bag talking to his players, you know, just to get something different. My guy AK47 said, Hector, you have to YouTube X pitch Chapman interview. Okay, Chapman interview with a Spanish journalist. What Chapman said in that interview would give you an idea of how the Yankees organization works. Is highly recommended. AK, I'm going to take a deep dive into that later on today. And then on the next episode, Thursday, I'll have the interview and I'll cue that up. Thank you for sharing that for me. Also, guys, in the chat, let me know, just like AK-47, if there's a topic that you want me or TC or Gio to tackle while we're up here, let us know. We'll do everything we can to prepare for it on the next show and have the topic ready for you to go. So let us know. Like I always say, this show wouldn't be what it is without the chat that we have. Without you guys interacting in the chat, we wouldn't be what we are. So I just want to shout out you guys. Shout out my guy, Macho King. Hey, Macho King Randy Savage is in the business. You know the funny thing, when I was in Florida, right? And I wasn't that far from Orlando. So after seeing my pops, I'm like, you know what? Let me go to Universal Boardwalk. Let me go do the Universal Walk over there. I did that, and they had the WWE shop. I was getting a Macho Man T-shirt just for the show, but they didn't have my size. They only had a medium, and I'm like, oh, you guys hate fat people. But shout out my guy Macho Man in the chat. Shout out Warren as well, WFSN. Shout out Warren, my guy. Salute, salute, salute. Let me do a little bit of a roll call. We got Davilia in the building. Aiden, how you doing, my guy? Frank Rivera's in the building. Frankie Pooh, how you doing? He says, watch for people begging for Cone to be the manager. I'm against it, but Cone talks analytics nonstop. It drives me crazy. He strikes me as the type that knows what to say in an interview to get a job. I want to ask you, not yet, that last part right there, but I want to ask you, and I want to ask the people in the chat. Now, I was having a conversation with someone who is also a Yankee content creator. They know who they are, but talking about replacements for Brian Cashman. And he brought up a name that I don't think anybody thought of outside the box. The person is with the Yankees organization. The person already does a lot of Yankee PR propaganda, fixing things up left and right. But what's your thoughts on Jack Curry getting a job in the front office?
That might be interesting.
Very knowledgeable when it comes to the game of baseball. When it comes to the history of baseball, he's very knowledgeable. When it comes to analytics, he takes deep dives into analytics. Like I said, it's out of the box. When I was told that name, I had to sit back and I couldn't automatically say no. But I'm still on the fence when it comes to that. People in the chat, let me know. What's your thoughts about Jack Curry not getting a job to replace Brian Cashman, but to be in the front office with whoever the replacement is?
Yeah, I was thinking that, or if you were going the coach route, like maybe having him start like, inside the clubhouse somewhere and not start in a managerial position, but front office sounds a lot better. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Like, and just to touch like the David Cone comment, I wouldn't want a pitcher as a manager. They see the game in a very different scope than hitters do. I think position players are probably one of the best ex-players to be coaches and managers, and specifically catchers. I feel like we need to get another catcher to be the head of our snake, in a sense. My pick, and I know Jorge would never do it because, look at his wife. I would never leave her too. But I would do everything in my power to try to get Jorge inside of this dugout, whether he starts as a bench coach and then you groom him to be your next manager. But that, honestly, 100%, that will be my guy. He's done it. He's policed the clubhouse before. He has that mentality. That would be the only person that I will be pursuing that's not already a candidate, to try to get him in the mix.
Interesting. Also, we got 75 people in the building. If you guys can't smack that like button, let's get the likes up on this chat. Shout out to everybody that's joining in on the conversation. My guy Aiden said he wants us to do a deep dive on Luis Severino. So get ready for that, Aiden. We'll make sure we do the Luis Severino. Let me just start this one real quick, and let me do the other one as well. But no, the Jack Curry thing, like I said, not to replace Cashman, but to be in the front office at some capacity. We got Jigga Man Portal backstage. I want him to join us for the conversation because I love my brother. So let me know when you want to come up, Celso. Give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you up. But it's a good idea. But when we think about who's going to replace Brian Cashman, it has to be someone fresh, right? Yeah. It has to be someone that is just moving off of that way of thinking when it comes to Brian Cashman. When you look at the 5 longest tenured GMs and the teams that they're attached to, all of those teams are doing horrible this year. We got the Yankees to start it off with. Chicago White Sox is the next team. The St. Louis Cardinals is the next team. The San Diego Padres and the Washington Nationals. What are the 5 things? What is the one thing that those 5 teams have in common? They all suck this year. Construction. Have the same nonsense. It's a tired motto. You got to switch it up. What's your thoughts on that, real quick, G?
I'm 100% with you. The only thing I would say is the Padres. I think their GM is actually good because he is not. They're not bad because he's a bad GM and his lack of trying. He's creative. He's trying to find ways to rejuvenate that lineup every year. It just sucks that I think the entire offensive side is just they're all underperforming, similar to how the Yankees are underperforming. But everyone else, 100% with you. Like this game, and Theo Epstein said it, no GM should be in any position for more than 10 years. And you know what? I'm going to hold that true to myself too. Like, you know what? After that, I'm not going to be in any position or with any company for 10 years because you know what? You do get stale, you do get accustomed, you do get, that brainwashed and mentality of this is the way we do things. And there's such a broader scope of life and just everything. And the Yankees, they're stale. Everything about the front office is stale, bro. These guys are all old white men with fucking shit coming out their ears and nose. Larry Levine looking crazy as hell when he has press conferences. Like, guys need to go.
Yeah, I just want to point that out. I've been watching the chat and I've been trying to figure out what is Warren doing. I just figured out Warren is dropping quotes from Aaron Boone, and I think I would make T-shirts with fire Aaron Boone in the front, but the quotes are in the back. So we got one: DJ is healthy. That was a solid quote from Aaron Boone. You remember that? How about this one? Have you been watching Jake Bowers? He's really slugging the ball. That's another one. We got to write this: Willie Calhoun can bang.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I think this is my favorite. You're crazy if you don't think Josh Donaldson will bounce back. Let's see if Warren got another one. Hey, he got another one. I didn't tell Bader he would be leading off. Everyone gets sent the lineup sheet. Some are more diligent about it than others. Yo, shout out to Warren for that. I didn't realize. I'm watching. I'm like, yo, what is he doing? And then I'm like, oh, he's quoting Aaron Boone. Look, everything is on the trade. Everything is on the table for the trade deadline.
Yeah, my other favorite from Boone is it's right in front of us. Yeah, no shit. Every team is right in front of you, bro. You're in last place. Like, stupid. I lost your. Oh.
Sorry about that. So I got one more topic for me and Gio to talk about, and I saved this towards the end. That way we can leave on a happy note, not a sad note. But Derek Jeter will be back at Yankee Stadium for Old Timers Day. Derek Sanderson Jeter will be back to save the team. He will come to save and rescue us. Obviously, I'm joking. Sorry about my mic cutting out. But when you look at it, featuring the traditional Old Timers Day introductions and a new question, a Q&A roundtable format in which the former Yankee greats would share moments of their days in pinstripes. Old Timers Day would include 9 Monument Park inductees, 7 of whom have had their numbers retired in the Hall of Fame: Jeter, Mariano, Joe Torre, Ron Guidry, Tino Martinez. Yes Network broadcaster Paul O'Neill will be there as well. So would Andy Pettit, Jorge Posada, and Willie Randolph. Obviously, Howard Steinbrenner had to beg Derek Jeter to come back for Old Timers Day. What do you make of this, G?
It's a ploy. PR is a PR ploy. Derek Jeter, I don't know if they're starting to pay him a little bit. Like, yo, bro, come around. We need some help. I don't know what's going on, but this is all a ploy just to try to get people to come, the end of August, September. Yeah, the roof is open. Fucking hilarious. It's just one of those ploys, bro. They're trying to show the fans, hey, let's relive some history. Let's have some fun. This team is effed. And this is our Sacramento white flag of just saying, guys, let's bring in one of the GOATs. Let's have some fun for a day. And probably sell out a few more tickets than we normally would have.
You guys here, they're having a Fire Cashman Day run by the fans. Listen, Damien, if anybody has any information on this, let me know. I saw some people talking about it on Twitter, and I was like, all right, cool. But let me know, because I will be down there. I will be right by the Metro North station that's right over there, handing out T-shirts to people that say Fire Cashman and Fire Aaron Boone ASAP. So if anybody has any news when it comes to this Yankee fan day of Fire Cashman Day when it comes to Yankee State. If you guys have any news, let me and Gio know. We'll both pop up and we'll both be there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, one thing that's getting me shout out to Big Blue in the Bronx. Shout out to my guy Alex and Luke over there. Make sure you go to support all of NYY News TV. But Gary Phillips, he pointed it out. Don't look for Derek Jeter to make any jump throws from the shortstop hole. The Yankees say that once again, there will not be an Old Timers Day game this year. They're introducing a Q&A roundtable hosted by Susan Wallman, Michael Kay, and John Sterling. So basically, Yankee people asking Yankee players how they feel about the Yankees and their memories. The Old Timers game is not a part of it. I think this goes back to from the pandemic. They haven't had an Old Timers game since the pandemic. So hopefully we get that in the future. But we'll see Derek Jeter in the pinstripes. He's going to be in uniform. All those players will be in uniform. So let's get ready for a ride down memory lane when it comes to the 1998 Yankees, Jack Curry, and all of us getting us hyped up, because this season has let us down tremendously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm actually intrigued to see what this Q&A is going to entail. I hope they ask some questions about the current state of the Yankees, and we get some interesting quotes and some stabs, because Jeter likes to throw a little salt in the wound sometimes, and stab at Cashman whenever he gets the opportunity to. But rightfully so, the guy was a jerk to him. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I know they're going to keep it about the team 98 team, but it'll be interesting when certain people come out and they get booed, and these guys get the roaring ovations of how is Hal going to feel, how is Cashman going to feel about, and so forth.
So to answer AK's47's question, it's September 9th, and I'm upset because going to Old Timers Day is one of the traditions that I have. It's September 9th. I will be in Puerto Rico because my birthday is September 8th, so I'll be missing it out this year. But I was there last year, and I was one of those fans that was booing Hal Steinbrenner when he came to the podium. I was one of those fans. I had a big-ass sign that security took away from me because I had a sign that said, sell the team, and security grabbed it. I was right on the second level, right towards the back. So I was right next to the security. Obviously, I was going to get the sign taken away. But hey, I still had fun. Damien says it's September 22nd. Oh, thank you so much. I definitely will be in the building for that one. But
PTO day.
Switch it up. Yeah, PTO day. But I want to switch it up just a little bit, Gio, because we're about to wrap it up soon. For your mental health for the rest of this season, what's your thoughts? What do you want to see? Because I think all of us, we're tired of what's going on. We want to see the young kids come up to play. If you guys haven't seen, they reclassified a lot of our prospects, and this is what hurts the most. Spencer Jones now is our number one prospect, but a lot of our prospects, they fell back in the rankings. Jason Dominguez was a top 50 prospect to begin the season. He's behind Spencer Jones. Also, all of them, they've fallen behind. Granted, the Yankees, we have 7 or 8 players in the top 100 prospects, but ain't none of them in the top 50. They're barely in the top 100. So that right there rubs me the wrong way when it comes to our prospect. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, so I talked about this on our show that's going to be releasing on Wednesday, so definitely check it out. I talked about our farm system, and beginning of the season, end of last season, everyone was talking about the Yankees have a great farm system, and majority of that is right now still pitching. But when you look at our offensive pieces, there's really only 7 names. And that's it. The 7 names that are hitting above 250 or better and that are doing any type of damage. Everyone else is batting below 240, 220, 225. There's a philosophy problem within the farm system where there's too much launch angle, too many strikeouts, not enough contact. So that's alarming because now we're in the position where we have to depend on our farm, right? And we had an opportunity to trade a lot of these guys at the highest peak of their value, and we did nothing, squandered it. And then how are we going to retool and get better for the future? So this is where I say like how really fucked this up for 2024, 25, and 26. But to answer your question about the mental health, bro, I want Judge to just go get the surgery. Get it early, get it done now. Make sure you're 110% healthy for the start of spring training. There's not no iffy, type of scenarios in there. He got an extra 2 months to heal. And then Phantom IO, everyone else that's struggling with a little something, DJ, the calf is bothering him. You know what? Just go on to 60, bro. Get healthy, get better. If you need to do a surgery too for your fucking foot and your calf, your knee, your elbow, your tummy, just do that shit too. And just bring up some of these guys. Like we have 7 weeks left in the season. Let them get at bats. Let's see what we got. It's pressure-free scenario, pressure-free at bats where they can just get acclimated to the majors, get used to the travel, get used to the team, get used to the personnel. And who knows? They might have a spark where maybe they can make a little run at the postseason. And if they don't, at least what you have in the farm that you can then go on the offseason with a plan. We got out of those 7 or 8 guys that we promoted, 3 of them really played well. All right, those are part of our core. What are we going to build around them with the veterans we do have, and how are we going to get rid of some of the dead weight that we got? Maybe we attach some of these other prospects that didn't perform well this year and start to cycle through and build. But get your Netflix queue ready. Start knocking that down, and just like last night's game, after the second inning, me and my girl started catching up to shows we've been dying to watch because I've been locked in with the Yankee season. I just kept it on my phone, listening to Pete, and then just watched some shows and movies. That's pretty much how we're gonna have to get through the next few weeks.
Game, right? Is everyone knows that I like to take my walks while I listen to the game. So I'm in Inwood Park. I'm jogging. I'm back there. I'm listening to the game, and then I see we're up 7-1. So in my head, I'm like, this game's a wrap. We won this game. It's cool. Turn my phone off. I switch to Spotify so I can listen to music while I'm running. I'm jogging. As soon as I get out of as soon as I get out the park, I get the notification on my phone. Yankees lose 8-7. I'm like, yo, what just happened? What just happened? I want to highlight another thing that Warren says. Hal says, and I quote, if the fans are upset, they will let me know. Oh, yes. And Cracklenut says, Hector, what you buy me for my birthday yesterday? Cracklenut's happy belated birthday, big fella. It was your birthday yesterday. I don't apologize for that. I'll go to the quarter machine down the block. I'll put a quarter. I spin it, and I'll get you one of the little homies from the bodega that's down the block from me, Cracklenuts. But happy birthday to my guy, Cracklenuts.
Happy birthday, Cracklenuts.
Punjab, Kings fans in the building. Salute to you, my guy. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Brett Alexander's in the building. Salute, Brett Alexander. We got 74 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. And if you're watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button as well. Help us out. Shout out to my guy Udo Joseph in the building. My guy Udo, hey, how you doing? Hal is not George. Money coming off. All we will do is go to Kmart and not Tiffany's, bro. We're gonna go to Five Below. We're not even go to Kmart. Kmart is too fancy for the Yankees. We're going to go to Five Below and Dollar General. That's where they're going to shop at this offseason, bro.
Not even Dollar General. They're going to the 99-cent store.
Yeah, right. Well, the 99-cent store ain't 99 cents anymore. It's $1.15, $1.17 nowadays. It's not 99 cents anymore. Brett Alexander also said they refused to add Debbie in trades before. Then they ended up having to DFA him. This is a prime example of stupidity in this front office. Brett, absolutely. We could have traded him in the 2019 season when he came up and everybody was, he's going to be the next Pedro Martinez, and we didn't trade him. That's what it is. We hold on to prospects. We devalue them after holding on to them for so long. We never trade them. We never give them an opportunity to show what they have at the big league level. And what happens? We DFA them. They go to another team. It is what it is. It's a rinse and repeat cycle when it comes to the New York Yankees. But Gio, I appreciate you joining me this morning.
Of course.
Again, I know it was last minute. So thank you so much for showing up. Also, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys. TC will be back. I think he'll be back next week, but he'll be back. Trust me, TC will be back. He ain't going nowhere. Jerry Cadill, big time Jerry. I love you, Jerry. Hope all is well. Appreciate everybody for showing up. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Unpopular Opinion. Let them know when that new episode is going to drop, bro.
Wednesday, 12 p.m. It'll be up. So go check it out. It'll be a lot of fun.
Check it out. And I know what you said. Trust me. You are right. My bad. You guys are great. Nah, you're great, my guy. I appreciate you. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Anthony Medina de la Isla, AK-47 as well. Warren, Punjab Kings fan. If I didn't say your name, just know I love you. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up in the chat. But like always, peace, salutation, and the Yankees suck. Well, there's nothing changed after that. The Yankees suck. The Yankees suck. The Yankees suck. Bye.